Hello, Mr. Terry, and welcome back to Money Monday at Horse Racing Today with yours truly, and of course, Terry Hollywood. Hey, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good, had to do a few things that were a little bit hard, but other than that, it was great.
Are you guys staying out of the Rain River over there in California now?
Yeah, we didn't have any rain here. It's mostly down south, I think, right now, or up north.
Mhm.
And so, anyway, but my sister came in, so she's visiting for a while. That's nice.
Keeping you busy. All right, well, it's good to hear. As always, it's also good to know that there's free picks somewhere today, Terry, and that's a guaranteed tip sheet. Free track of the day is Mahoning Valley. You can get your picks in the description down below. Kindly use that wherever you are, so they know where you're coming from. You'll see in the opening race today, Ohio player at the Ohio track. The Ohio band, I guess, is going to be our top choice there with VR Fernandez in the irons. So we'll see how Mr. Fernandez does. Let's see how we do, Terry. Oops, in starting in rate. I was a little bit ahead of myself there. Little forecasting. We're going to start off in race number one as always.
Yeah, and it's a mile and 70 yards to start with. A claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, purse 18,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won two races since September 11th.
Yeah, and at a mile and 70 yards, the sort of horse that normally gets the job done, i.e., the profile of a winner, does favor horses that stalk. You want to be forwardly placed a bunch. 38% of the time, they do take the field wire to wire. The rail, singing through the storm, not a good place to be. It's actually kind of bad at this position. 2 and 3, surprisingly, a little bit of a bonus. 4 and 7, they get 4 through 7, a little bit of a discount. And then if you go 8 and out, that's been the best place to be. 10,000 simulations for race number one, Terry, where we're looking for horses where we might get some value with our simulation odds lower than post time odds. Par plus, that tells us, according to our 10,000 simulations, how often the horse runs a speed figure above par for this level. And in race number one, we're looking for an 84 speed figure. I also want to know, speed matters, right? We talked about 38% going to wire. Who's got the best chance to get to the lead? And based upon our 10,000 projected races and how fast we think it's going to go, how likely for C-Zone comfort this race will mirror the horse's best performances. Terry, take us away through the data.
Yeah, well, you can see by the data here that most of these horses have some kind of speed, with the 7 showing the most speed and the 3 coming in the next. The 7 has the overlay of just around even money to 3 to 1. 6, 7, and 4 are the only are good par numbers, including the 8. And then 6, 1, 5, and 4 are the C zone numbers that are pretty decent.
Yeah, kind of a checkered board here. So a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of white everywhere. So if you're looking at this data, you can make a case for a lot of these horses. We also want to take a look at what they call race shape or pace, right? They call it pace handicapping, where you plot out where the horse wants to be. Looks like most of these horses want to be middle back, although the 4-horse screensaver can play pilot or be a co-pilot. Let's see if it does have the most early speed. Looks like there's 4 of them. The 3, 4, 1, and 7. All similar early speed, so that should give a little bit of an advantage to the inside horses. A little bit of a gap down to everybody else down there. Hurricane Highway is going to be way off the pace according to its most recent runs, but it does have plenty of late speed. I don't know if it'll be enough to run everybody down when the wire comes and it's time for taking the winner's photo. Our top total pace horse does look like Codependent, Vine Jet. They're a little bit better than Screensaver and More Than a Dance, but those 4 are clearly your best. And about 74% of the time, the winner comes from the top 4. Terry, how many of those do you have?
Well, I like the 4 screensaver as my top choice. He won his last race at Parx Racing. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and that combo in the last 14 days have in 7 races has won 5 of those races with 2/3. And then number 7, Vinejet, my second choice, ran second versus similar in his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest speed figure, last race speed figure. Codependent, the 6th that you talked about, finished third in his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. He had my third choice. And then number 1, Singing Through the Storm is my long shot. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. No bets for me except for the normal exacta win trifecta and superfecta bet.
Yeah. So what Terry's talking about is in every race we put $2 to win on our top pick, dollar exacta box our top 2 picks, 50-cent trifecta box our top 3 picks, and then we do a 10-cent superfecta box with all 4. I'm going to start off with the 6-horse, Terry. For me, Codependent is your top par plus here. Does have the strongest C-zone, so should be a very comfortable race for this horse. And last time out, the horse's fractions were faster, and all of the pace numbers were better across the board. Always almost a sign of a horse that's improving. Number 7, Vine Jet. That one ran the top last race speed figure last time out. 3 points clear the next closest horse. Again, if you're new with us, you haven't read Andrew Byer's books, you'll know that he looks for a horse that has a 3 speed figure advantage over the next closest one. That is Vine Jet. Ran at this level last time out and just missed by a neck. Real good chance to be a better horse in the second start after a layoff. Screensaver, Terry, your top choice in here. Jamie Ness puts on jockey Michael Sanchez. That duo wins at about 27%. This one did show a little bit more late interest last time around. It should be involved early. And then finally, I'm going to go with More Than a Dance. The 5-horse does have a very strong late race edge. Horse is going to drop in class. I don't think it's enough to win, but I do think those late legs will give this horse a piece of the exacta, trifecta, superfecta pie at the end. Again, normal bets for us. If you're new to us, you haven't joined us before, kindly hit the like button here on YouTube. Follow us and subscribe as well. If you're watching on Twitter, if you would kindly retweet, we'd appreciate that. And on Facebook, if you could share, we'd appreciate that too. It helps us with the algorithms. The more interactivity we have, like comments and retweets and all that sort of stuff, the higher up we go in the algorithms. Good morning, Char Philly. How are you today on this Money Monday, hopefully in Bensalem, Pennsylvania? See if we can add to our bankroll, Terry, in race number 2.
All right, let's go. It's a 6 furlong, so we're shortening up a little. It's a $7,500 claiming race, purse $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And at the 6 furlong sprinting distance, stalkers do good. 1 out of 4 horses go gate to wire. Very strong rail bias for Carpe all day. 2 and 3, they play fair. 4 through 7, major ding. They get whack-a-mole. And then finally 8 and out, also a little bit of penalty. But certainly the inside 3, Terry, do have an advantage in race number 2, particularly if they're fast. And it looks like one of them might fit that bill, or both might.
Yeah, the 2 shows the most speed, with the 7 coming in second as far as the data shows. The 4 has an overlay from about 8.5 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 7 has an overlay from even money to 2 to 1. And the 8 has a pretty nice overlay from almost 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. And then par numbers 7 and 6 have the only par numbers here. All but the 3 have pretty darn decent C-zone numbers.
Yes, indeed. They all do. We got one here. A lot of green across the board there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Our race shape is perfectly balanced. 3 that want to be on the front, a pair that want to be in the middle, and 3 that want to be on the back. Like shrinkflation hamburger nowadays. It used to be that the burger was bigger than the bun, but that's no longer the case anymore. So early on, when the gates open and the dirt starts flying, it does look like the rail horse. Carpe all day is the quickest out of the gates. Doesn't necessarily need to lead as a P horse. Looking at the 2, 7, and 8, it looks like the 2 and the 7 are the quickest of the front runners. So I would think the 2 horse is going to try to giddy up and go to the front. As far as your late speed is concerned, connecting, the 6 horse is the strongest of the closers. If you look at his early pace, won't be all that far off. So probably going to be in contention from the beginning and then to the end, because the 7 and the 6 have the most total pace score in the field, about 4 points clear of Milagroso. And then again, you do see a pretty big cutoff line right here between the 1, 8, 6, and 7. So these 4, I think one of them will produce the winner, maybe the exacta or trifecta. Terry, what do you think?
I like the 7, the tough workout. He's been knocking at the door, finishing in the money in his last 4 races, finishing third versus similar in his last race, and has a prime number, number 1. He's at first with his prime number. And then number 3, Bluey, is my second choice. He has finished in the money in 50% of his races at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. Carp All Day is the number 1, is my third choice. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. The rail post is winning at a 25% clip, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then the 4 is my long shot, Keep Them Talking. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. No bets for me in this race other than the normal ones.
Tough Workout also gets the top call for me. It is what I am now deeming a green go horse. You got all this green here. You got that simulation out, so that horse is going to go. Last time out, all of its early pace figures, the 2 and 4 furlongs, improved. That's a sign of a horse. It's getting a little bit more fit. Number 6, Connecting. We got another one of those horses that ran a speed figure at least 3 points clear of the next one. That's Connecting. Did run faster fractions in its last race, despite the fact that it went a little longer than its prior starts. If you go longer and faster, it's like Wrigley Spearmint gum, doubly quick. Number 8, Milagroso, is my third choice. This one's going to catch a little bit of weight break today after better pace numbers through the first half mile of its last race. So I think that this all could help the horse today. And then number 1, Carpe All Day, does ride that very strong rail. Good chance to be forwardly placed in here, Terry, after running a little bit quicker fractions through the first part of its last race. We'll see if that rail can help it get around the track first. Again, no bets for me other than the standard win exacta trifecta superfecta bets using our picks. Race number 3 is what you and I are going to do right now. If I can just kind of remember what I'm doing. I'm clicking all over the place today, Terry.
Actually, we're going to do, race 3. You're right. Mm-hmm. So let me get up here and look at that. And it's a 6.5 furlongs, $12,500 claiming race, purse $23,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And at the 6.5 furlongs, you want to identify the sort of horse that usually ends up in the winner's circle. They're stalkers, early speed types. 31% of the time, they go wire to wire. There is a major rail bonus for a more Motito. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, a small penalty. 8 and out, they play kind of fairish. Terry, at inside speed, once again, looks like it could be beneficial at this race number 3.
Yeah, and that 3 and 2 and 3 show some inside speed, along with the 5 there. And then the 1 has an overlay from about 3 to 5 to 4 to 1. And then the 1, 7, and 6 are the only par numbers, with the 1 being the best. And then all but the 3 and 6 have pretty decent CISO numbers.
And just to reiterate, par plus means when we run our 10,000 simulations, almost 64% of the time, Motito in our simulations produced a speed figure above 74. And also when we projected out how fast this race would be, about an 83% chance that this race would mirror its best performances. We also are going to take a look in race number 3, as we always do, the race shape. This race shape looks like most of them are slanted to the left. So you have a possibility for a little bit too much early speed. So you kind of want to be the speed of the speed in here, Terry. And that would be Soulful Terra, the 3 horse. A little bit quicker than Golden Blossom. Not much, but they're all pretty competitive in here, except for Wine and Goddess. So I would think you would get a pretty brisk pace in this one. So maybe a little bit of late legs could be the way to the winner's circle. Divine Romance does have a 10-point advantage over the next closest horse. Should be right off that lead too. So the way that shapes up, looks like the 7 should sit maybe 3rd or 4th with that late speed run around the track for the win. It does have a 9-point total pace advantage over the rest of the field. Usually you close in on 10, that horse finishes in the money with great regularity and wins at a high rate too, Terry. I think we both expect it to win today.
Yeah, I like PC horses, and so the 7's my first choice, Divine Romance. She has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and has a good workout on March 4th. And then 6, Katie Cates is my second choice, ran 3rd in her last race, has the highest our best speed figure at today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days won 5 out of 9 races. And then Soulful Terra is my third choice, number 3. She won her last race at Parx Racing. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 4 is my long shot, Wine Goddess. She does well on an off track, winning the race before last and on a muddy surface. So, I think the weather's clear there, but I have no idea if the surface is muddy or off yet.
Well, the track is fast today, so that
is it fast? Well,
so my 4 and Friday partner in crime, Thomas Damel, pointing out that and I never pronounce this right, the Cheltenham. I hope I got that right. So our good friend Abtruse Allen, if I screwed that up, just blame it on me being on the other side of the Atlantic for improper English. But that starts tomorrow. Our good friend Tom, I'll have all of his notes for all of those races, those jumpers, where there'll be huge prices that probably pay. I'll have all that over on horseracingtoday.net, much like we put our comments up there. So you'll find that over there tomorrow. We'll talk about that again tomorrow. But if you get up in the morning and you want to pay attention to those races, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. All of Tom's notes will be over there. As far as I'm concerned, in race number 3 over here at Parx, I'm going to go with Divine Romance 2, Terry, my top selection. Claim and drop for trainer Jamie Ness. This guy wins no matter what anyway, but claim the horse and then drop him. They win at 37%. And as you mentioned, Terry, it is the lone PC type. Motito, the one horse, really strong par plus over here. Been off for a long time, Terry. The workouts are okay. Prepping first Lasix, I think that could be a key for this horse, as he does have some early speed. Maybe going to get a good price on him after all that time in the sidelines. Pay attention to the early action. That'll tell you on the odds board what the folks at the track see. Katie Cakes, the 6 horse, last time out, finished 3rd after a class drop and a track drop coming in from the Naira circuit. So maybe first time over the park surface wasn't its favorite. Get another chance at it today, and cutting back in distance could be the key. Finally, the 5-horse Audit Committee is my final choice. I'm going to take a chance here with this one, Terry, because he's taking a major drop in class. He's been off since September, and the last time this horse won, he followed a long layoff with a win. So maybe we'll see a repeat performance of that today from Audit Committee. Plus, I really wasn't all that enticed by any of the others in here. Got a little while before race number 1, Terry, so we can probably make it through race number 4, maybe race number 5, before we tell everybody what's happening in race number 1.
All right. So in this race 4, it's 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a $7,500 claiming race, $21,000 purse for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
And we're going to see a bunch of these 1 mile and 70 yarders. So keep an eye out on the early ones. Get a sense of what the track bias is like. So far, the bias has favored horses that are up front. A bunch of them, nearly 4 out of 10, do win wire to wire. The rail for Mesquillo is not a good place to be. 2 and 3, you get a little bit of extra juice right there. 4 through 7, much like the rail, are penalized. The very best place to be, but I don't think it is the case today. Not enough horses, but the very best place would be on the outside. Terry, some speed, bunch go wire to wire. Looks like one of them is really fast.
Yeah, and I want to say good morning to DC Capper for me and you. So there we go. But as you can see here, the 4 has the most speed in here, with the 2 and 3 showing some speed. And then the 2 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 4 and the 2 have the only par numbers. And then 4, 5, and 2 show the only C-zone or decent C-zone numbers.
Again, Bunny Bonus, another one of those horses that's got a little bit of green across the board there. Our race shape, let's see if indeed the 4 has any advantages there. It is a lone PC horse. Really, you don't have a pilot or co-pilot type, so there's really not a lead-dependent horse in this field. So the one that gets to the front could grow in confidence. And Bunny Bonus is about 7. This is exactly 7 points clear of the next closest. Every 5 points equals 1 length on the early pace factor that we have here. So that one should be about a length and a half in front of everybody else, Terry. Plenty of early juice there. Going to have to hold on at the end as Sirenetta and Mesquillo come in along with Lulu's Dancer. And then finally, our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is Bunny Bonus and Lulu's Dancer. Those two are 5 points clear as Sirenetta. So that's big enough to think that maybe there's an exacta, or, yeah, I would say ice cold, or maybe exacta box in those top two. Terry, you going a little bit different route with your second pick.
Yeah, I like the two as my first choice, Lulu's Dancer. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then the three, Colonel Mora, she finished, or she likes Parx Racing. She's finished in the money 54% of the time here and won 18% of those starts. And the distance won't bother her at all, as she's been in the money 42% of the time, win 14%. And then Bunny Bonus, the 4 is my third choice. She finished third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. A lot of boxes marked off there. And then that one horse is my long shot, has a high percentage winning jockey, and best dirt speed is closest to the average winning speed. No bet for me in here.
So Amin Ona says that the 3 horse here is going to win 95% chance in race 4 to 3 horse wins. Can you explain how you got the 95% chance? I'd like to know. We do like when people share, and I like to learn. I read a lot of books, a lot of academic studies. I study all the work that Terry and I do. So I'm always interested in hearing how people come to their conclusions. I came to my conclusion with the 4 horse Bunny Bonus because he's another one of those green go horses. We see horses with those strong chance to get to the lead, especially when they have the top C zone, that 7-point early speed advantage, top par plus, an overlay there, sim favorite. A lot of reasons to like Bunny Bonus. Lulu's Dancer, the 2 horse, is taking a class drop in here. And the last race was just a little bit quicker, so some hidden improvement in the last start. Sirienta, the 6 horse, the third choice for me, should be coming at the end, does absolutely show a lot of late race enthusiasm relative to the rest of this field. I feel like going longer today is a difference maker for the closer. And then Colonel Mora, the 3 horse, the one that Emin says has a 95% chance to win, is taking a drop in class, did show improvement in the first half mile last time out. And heck, Emin says it's got a 95% chance to win. So should put it on top, I suppose, at 10, Terry, right?
Yep.
We started today at about 5 after 11, Don. So I was going to address this early on, but I forgot because, as Jay Marco says, the first thing to go is the gray matter between the ears as you get older, and mine is deteriorating ever so quickly. That being said, that when they change the clocks, they also change the starting dates times for a lot of races for first post because the daylight lasts longer into the day. Today was that day for Parx, and I completely forgot about it. I kind of in the back of my mind knew it was coming. Terry's like, hey, what time are we starting? So I think we'll probably start around 11:05 every day, but maybe we'll push it up a little bit closer to post time like we used to do. It'll depend on the kind of interaction that we get. So we want to make sure we reach the most people possible. Again, if you're new to us, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We put a lot of exclusive data here. Share what we're doing with your friends. Retweet, copy, and paste the share button from YouTube. While you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. Same thing on Facebook. Any interaction, be it comments, retweets, likes, shares, all of that stuff really boosts our algorithmic scores with Google, Facebook, Twitter, all of them. So that's a great way to help the show, and we sincerely appreciate it. All right, race number 5, Terry. Yeah, we got plenty of time. So let's go ahead and knock out the first point of the midpoint of the card.
Well, he stretches out to 1 mile and 70 yards again, and it's a $10,000 claiming race. Purse $26,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since December 11th. Claiming races for $8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to see a belly full of these 1 mile and 70 yarder types. We know early speed wins. We know that if you're on the rail, you're going to have a tough day in front of you. Most likely 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, again, a little bit of a penalty. She's got a little accordion action going on here. The best place to be post position wise is 8 and out in race number 5. And we're finally going to get some horses out there, Terry. And looks like the fastest of them all decided to take the day off. So that leaves the starting chores to some other folks.
Yeah, most of them show some speed, but the 5 and 10 have the most speed according to the data. The 7 shows an overlay from about 2.5 to 1 to 8 to 1, and then the 8 shows an overlay from almost 3 to 1 to 5 to 1. The 7 and 8 are the only par numbers. Well, also the 4 uh, are the only par numbers in here. All but the 1 and 3 have pretty decent C zones.
Yeah, again, another checkered board here, mosaic of red, white, and green. So deep field, very likely that it's a wide open or more open race. Most of the horses want to be middle back over here, Terry, so that should give a little bit of edge along with the speed bias for the track to those horses that can be middle forward. DeSantis, the PC type, he's going to push forward there, Terry, about a length quicker than everybody else, but really going to have to work on that late speed. Been fading. If you're really focused on the horses with the most power at the end, that's going to be Sophos. Won't be all that far off the pace, Terry, too. Could be sitting third or fourth in a great stalking position. Also has the top total pace by 7 points. Again, anytime you get over 5 top total pace, that horse has a really strong chance to be a factor in the race today, Terry. You think a different one will factor first, however.
Yeah, I like that number 8 horse, Artistic Reason. He won his last race at Parx Racing, has the highest last speed rating. He's actually tied with another horse. But then I like the 7 Sophos. He has finished in the money in 6 out of the last 7 races, so he's very competitive, winning one of those starts, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. Sensible Jim, the 10, finished second in his last race as a
I gotta
favorite.
say, Ray, I gotta interrupt you. All the gyms I knew, not one of them was Sensible, Terry. Is
That's
that an ironic name?
No, that's true because my dad was named Jim and he wasn't very sensible. So anyway, he in a lot
I
of
didn't know that, folks. So that's just it's sort of one of those things that happens. But go ahead.
well, just a bit. Sometimes he was and sometimes he wasn't. Just the way it was. But anyway, he has a trainer who wins 22% of the races when bringing a favorite back to race again. And the 4 Senior Investment. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. No bet in here for me.
I noticed the number of people who are watching dropped in half, Terry. So it must have been half of all watching us were named James. Sorry, folks. Of course, we just kid. I'm going to start off with the 7 horse in here, Sophos. This horse is a highly consistent performer in a field that I think is kind of wide open. Been on the claiming carousel, so obviously a lot of trainers see something in this horse. And then the top total pace in here, 7 points clear. Today's the day it gets the job done. Senior Investment, the 4 horse is my second selection. Last time out, if you read the notes, had a tough trip. I think it'll get a better trip today. And if it gets a better trip today, it'll get a better result today. Number 8, Artistic Reason, is my third choice. That one looks like it's one of the top simulation favorites. Unquestionably, this form is in top form right now, and no reason to believe its form won't continue in the third start after a layoff, the most classic of all handicapping angles. And then Sensible Jim, somehow we ended up on the same 4 horses, a little bit different order. Was a tough call for me over the 1 horse, Warriors Vendetta, but the rail sucks. I made a point of that when we talked about the profile of a winner. Outside is the best place to be, so if I can trade bad for good, like Olive Oil, when Popeye would push the water out of her from drowning, we'll take that. And the horse's speed numbers have been rising, so it looks like it's moving into top form. Race number 6, Terry, we do have time to get to race 6. Yeah, 5 minutes. We'll do race 6, and then we'll rewind back to race number 1. Tell us what's at stake in the 6th race.
Well, we're cutting back to 6 furlongs. It's a $7,500 claiming race, purse $21,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 4 races.
And at 6 furlongs, to rewind back, I think to the second race will be 6 furlongs too. Stalkers do very well. 1 out of 4 go wire to wire. Unlike what we see at 1 mile and 70 yards, the 1 horse is going to get a bonus here. Mizzen Man. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7, a major penalty. It's the worst place to be. A little bit of rebound on 8 and out, Terry. In race number 6, we're going to have more than 8 horses again. First scratch of the day, I think, with Rex Kwando. Pretty deep field here, Terry, so maybe some early speed is an advantage, and looks like a few of them will make a case to be the front runner.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess though who gets that quarter pole first because that 3, 4, and 10 have similar speed numbers, and then the 7 has an overlay of from just under even money to 5 to 1, and then the several of them have par numbers with 7 showing the best par number, and then 7 has the most the best C zone, or along with the 10, or I'm sorry, 9, 10, and 7 and 1 have the best C zone numbers.
And just to reiterate, Par Plus, we do 10,000 simulations. Based upon the output of those simulations, the 7, Smart and Fast, has roughly a 59% chance to run a speed figure above 81. That's the average winning speed figure for the conditions at a 6 furlong race at Parx, and also our comfort zone over here based upon our early pace projections, where we figure out who's going to be on the lead, how likely this race's tempo will match the horse's best performances. One more time on our race shape, Terry, everybody, most part, want to be middle back. So it tilts towards horses coming from off the pace, which should give an edge to the horses that are out front early on. Does look like Disco Devil will be the fastest of the fast when the gates open, about 3/4 of a length quicker than Mizzen Man. But the speed to the inside could make the work for the 4 to clear a little bit more difficult than it may want. Late speed belongs to Smart and Fast. It really won't be all that far off the lead, maybe a length and a half, but does have plenty of pace to catch him at the end of the race, Terry. And then our top total pace, where the winner comes out of the top 4, about 70, about 3 out of 4 races. They do have a 5-point advantage over everybody else, with Smart and Fast being the class of the top total pace horses. And it's the class of our picks again.
That's right. I like that 7, Smart and Fast. He has won 2 races in a row, going for a hat trick now, and has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then Liam's Blue Moon's my second choice. He's the 3 horse, ran second versus similar in his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. And then Mizzen Man, the 1, he finished 4th, beating only 3/4 of the length versus similar in his last start. The rail post is winning 25% clip, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. He's my 3rd pick. My long shot is the 10. If we get lucky, he has won 2 out of his last 4 starts, drops in class today, and has a high percentage, has the highest speed figure at today's distance. No bet in this race for me.
I, too, will start with the 7 horse, Smart and Fast, strongest Par Plus horse in the field, Terry. Is your simulation favorite? That's a dynamic duo usually. Interesting that the horse is taking an odd drop off a win. Dr. Doom, the 6 horse, is the second choice here. Another one of those Andrew Beyer horses that ran the top last race speed figure, 4 points higher than the next closest horse. Looks like we're going to get some decent odds on that one, too. A little bit of a concern that the horse is a class riser, but cutting and distance could be helpful. First off, the claim is a 15% winning angle. I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but compared to the trainer's overall win rate of 5%, that's delivering a ton of alpha. Number 2, Caddy Man, my 3rd choice in a race where I wanted to pick just about every horse if I could. This is an all or nothing horse, one of my favorites to bet on at the distance. 6 times out, won 3 races, did nothing else in the other 3 races. If you put the horse at any other distance 11 times, it has 1 second. So put the horse at 6 furlongs, 50-50 chance to win, and we should get better than 1-to-1 odds. And then finally, number 1, Mizzen Man, was a tough call for me over the 3 horse, who I think is going to be the one up on front. But Mizzen Man ran at this level last time out, just missed, and had to go wide. A little bit cleaner trip on the inside today on that strong rail is a big difference. No wide trip today for Mizzen Man. All right, Terry, looks like they're about to load up for race number 1. They are loading up. Yeah, we got a few in the box already. Let's go back to our picks for race number 1. You have the 4 horse right now, which is a 7-5 favorite, heavy favorite for the folks there in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, down to 3-2. Next up on the board is the 7 horse at 5-2. Then the 8 at 4-1. Next up is the 6 horse at 10-1. The 6 codependent, the top Par Plus horse, the 4 horse. Looks like the value horse, Terry, here is the 7, our second choice, of course. We have that as a sim odds of 1-1, essentially. Horse right now is 5-2, so if our simulation odds are correct and you bet horses like that, over the course of time, it should generate a positive ROI. And they're off and running in the opener today for the new week in Parx, sunny day. The 4-horse did get out towards the lead there. The 3-horse on the inside, though, Coco Shell, going to make them work. 4 going to run a race in between it and the 7, Vine Jet. A little bit of bumping, too, early on between Screensaver and Vine Jet. Behind them, you have the 1-horse Singing Through the Storm. And to its outside, the 5-horse, More Than a Dancer. A little bit farther back, we do find the 7-horse, Vine Jet. No, that's not the Vine Jet. That's the 8-horse back there, Hurricane Highway. And behind Hurricane Highway, we have Secret Path. I don't have any idea where my 6-horse is. I don't see him on the screen anywhere. Did he not run today?
No, 8 grand.
All right. The 7-horse right now has a commanding lead as they run down the backstretch in the opening quarter, 23-1. So really not all that fast. Got a couple that are trying to make up ground on that horse right now with the 4 and the 3. Opening half in 47-3. So he slowed it down a little bit, maybe a little bit quicker than if you're backing the 7-horse you want it to be. I don't see the 6-horse anywhere in the screen, Terry. I think maybe he stayed in the gate today. My top choice not performing at all. 4-horse trying to make up some ground on that 7-horse. I don't know that he's going to get to that horse as they come down around the corner. He's working pretty hard. See if he can make that move. I don't see. Did the 6-horse fall down? No, he's all the way in the back. I don't know what's going on with that guy. Looks like right now the 7-horse is going to be your winner, Terry. You got a couple of others passing the tiring 4-horse. 7-horse, we mentioned at the top there right before they went live that was the horse that offered the most value, Terry. It was the 1-to-1 shot according to our simulation odds. Went off at its odds probably came down at 5-2 and won easily, Terry.
Yeah, he looks like he is running pretty easy. So
yeah, he won easy. The 3-horse came in second, so he a little bit of some longer prices on the back end. I have no idea what happened to the 6-horse today, folks. So hopefully we do a little better. Then at least our second picks came home, Terry. We missed on everything else, so we'll see if indeed we can improve that. In what are you at, race number 7 now?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and. I mean, if the second pick wins all day, I would be all right with that, wouldn't you?
What's that now?
I said if the second pick were to win all day, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, that would be all right with me. So anyway, we're stretching out to 1 mile and 70 yards in the 7th race. It's a nice purse of $50,000 for maidens, 4-year-olds and upward.
And just to kind of, really, I don't know, 3rd, 4th time today, the 7 mile and 70 yards. I want to come up with the 170. I think I'm going to call it from now on. Stalkers do good 38% of the time. They do win wire to wire. The rail's bad for treble clef. 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a penalty. Again, 8 and out is the best place to be in race number 7. We don't have 8 horses, but we did have a significant scratch, in my opinion, Terry. If you're looking for speed, well, the horse is properly named.
Yeah, that 4-horse shows the most speed in here. It should get that quarter pole first. The 1 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 4 to 1. And then the 1 and the 2 are the only ones with par numbers. 7 has the best C-zone number along with the 4.
Yeah, again, there's really not a lot of green in this. So you can make a case more for why a horse won't win than why it would win. You can make a case, well, even here, looking at the race shape, it's very balanced. So early speed could play a role in here, provided you have the late legs. Burn the Evidence is about 2 lengths faster than everybody else. Really, the only inside horse that'll have to work to get in front of will be Brushback. Look at that late speed. That horse has to find some late legs, some more stamina. A couple of workouts between races might have been the key there. Tricolor, the 5-horse, does have the most late speed, about a length faster than everybody else. As we group them together for our top total pace in here, Terry, it is a pretty competitive race, except for maybe number 3, Changing the Karma. So, you got a bunch in here to pick from, Terry. I think just about any one of them could win. Who do you think will?
I like Tricolor, the 5. Has been knocking at the door, finishing 3rd in his last 4 starts, and his jockey in the last 7 days has won 5 out of 9 starts. And then the 2, Brushback, is my second choice, finished 2nd. 2 of his 3 career starts and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer's horses win 30% of the time when they when he takes a horse from a sprint to a route. Treble Clef, the one, is my third choice, has a best start speed among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Crack the Code is my long shot. He finished third in his last race. Again, no bet for me. I'm waiting for my pick of the day and a little bit later on.
I'm going to start off with Treble Clef, El Numero Uno on that rail there. I know the rail is bad, but this horse, I think, could have the most upside in the race, Terry. Second start after a layoff. Going to catch a weight break today. They must have felt like this was a good horse. They claimed him from Bill Mott. And Bill Mott, when he had the horse, put on top-notch jockeys in Florent Garou and Jose Ortiz. So I think you're going to see perhaps some of that ability show through despite the crappy rail post position. Brushback, the two horses, my second choice. You have Jamie Ness, Ruben Silvera, the Batman and Robin, or maybe just the two Batmans at Parx. This horse has some of the most back class in the field, and it really did run its best race in its debut on a fast track, and since then caught off tracks. This time it gets a fast track. I think that'll make that horse happy in here. Tricolor, the 5-horse, second, third choice for me. Really close at Parx. 3 races, 3 thirds in there. And the proper distance, 9 times out. Been in the money, 7 of them, 3 seconds and 4 thirds. Maybe this horse with so many races is learning not how to win, but how to be competitive, which was a concern of mine.
Yeah.
Number 7, Crack the Code, that really strong C-zone in there. Last time out, the horse ran similar fractions at 7 furlongs as it did 6 furlongs. Again, you run the same fractions, but you're stretching out a little bit. That's a little bit faster. This time, the horse is going to also have some closing ability by going longer. So I think the horse is coming into form and benefits from extra runway today. Here's my $16 wager, Terry, of what we have left on our $100 budget. Pick 4 for $1, 1, 2, 5, 7. Singling the 3 in the next race, the 1 after that. And then the 2, 10, 11, and 13 in the closing leg. So little foreshadowing of what I think about the next 2 races, Terry. But before we get to what I think, let's talk about what they're about.
All right. So this race, 8th race, is 6.5 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price if you elect to put your horse in there to be possibly claimed. Purse is $32,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claiming price of $12,500 or less since March 11th, 2023, or a claiming price of $25,000.
And 6.5 furlongs. Stalkers do good. Bunch do go wire to wire. So like Parx, you want to be forwardly placed. Major rail bonus for the Red Rifle, Dalton. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 a small penalty. 8 and out, they come back close to fair in there, Terry. As far as the early speed is concerned, we want it to be on the inside in race number 8, preferably. But guess what?
Yeah, well, that 7 shows the most speed, outside horse. And then that 3 has an overlay of about 4 to 5 or 2 to 5 to 2 to 1. The 7 shows a small overlay from 5 to 2 to 7 to 2. All but the 1 has par numbers, and then all but the 3 and 5 have these C-zone numbers.
And we got another one of those green go horses here, Terry. Trader's Luck with that 7. Plenty of early speed, top late, one of the best C-zones. Will he have that ability in race number 8 to get there? And yes, indeed, the 7 horse wants to be a part of the front. Most of the middle back, though you do have a couple of them in here with the 3 and the 6 that have versatility as PC types. They can press if they need to. They can sit back. Whatever the race shape dictates. Early on, Dixie, wrong way. That's upside down and wrong one. Trader's Luck does have a 4-point advantage, but he's on the outside totally. And then all of these other horses are almost equally as quick to the inside. Trader's Luck's going to have to work to get the lead if any of these want to go challenge. On the end of the race, if a bunch of them go challenge and we have a speed meltdown, then Dixie's 2 stents will be the quickest of them all, but maybe a little too far off the pace. Horses like Enforcer, Johnny Ritt, and Big John, they'll be much closer to the front, and similar late speed means they'll have to pass all those. Enforcer is the top total pace horse in a race that's very tight. All but 2 of them, Terry, within 4 points of each other. A wide trip, a bump, a bad start could be the difference between finishing first or maybe finishing fifth and out of the superfecta altogether. Looks like a pretty open race. How are you going to order them?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an open race, very competitive. It's seven. Number 7 is my first choice, Trader's Luck. He has won 3 out of the last 6 races at Parx Racing, running second in his last race, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, Johnny Ritt. The 3 is my second choice. He won his last race at Parx Racing, drops in class today, and has a high percentage win trainer who wins 50% of the races when dropping a horse off win. And he has a high speed figure at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starter. And then number 4, Practical Coach, is my third choice. He won his last race at Parx Racing. He has a high percentage winning trainer. 5 is Big John. He's my long shot. He ran second in his last race. No bet in this race for me, as the next race comes up with my pick of the day.
Pick of the day. I'm going to start with that 3 horse in there, Terry. Johnny Ritt. That horse has a 10-point last race speed figure edge over the next closest horse. That's a pretty big edge. This horse is dropping in class after a win. This horse is in for a check, but not for a price. So the drop is not as suspicious as it might look on paper. So I say not in for a price. This is an optional claiming race. The amount to buy it is Terry's pocket change right there, $25,000 is lunch money. But when you look at the 3 horse, if he was in for a price, you would see the $25,000 right there. It's not there. Whereas if you wanted to buy Dixie's 2 stents and you had the 25 grand to drop, you could buy that one. So that's why I'm going with the 3 horse. Trainer in 10th. They're here to win the race and pick up another check. Number 6, Enforcer, is my second selection. Does have the most back class in this field. So they can reach back and find it in its second start after a layoff. Could be more than dangerous. Trader's Luck, that 7 horse, is yet another green go horse on the card today. Big chance to be on the lead. Very strong C-zone score. It's going to have to find some late race energy, though. And then Dixie's 2 stents, that is my final selection. Really consistent performer. Showed a little bit more in terms of fitness last time out by running a bit faster. I don't have any bets either, Terry, because I used my extra $16. We're going to get to Terry's bet of the day in a very short field today in race number 9, which has been roughed up by some scratches.
Yeah, it sure was. And it's a mile and 70 yards, optional claiming again, with $16,000 claiming price. It's a purse of $50,000. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won a race other than maiden, claiming, starter, or state bred, or which have never won 2 races, or claiming price of $16,000.
And at a mile and 70 yards, what is it, the 5th race today that they're going to do at a mile and 70 yards? By now, you know the refrain. The horse should be a stalker or have some early speed. Nearly 40% go wire to wire. The rail is bad, respectfully, but I don't know it will be as bad in a 4-horse field. It certainly could be a penalty. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. The 4-horse in here is penalized as well. Again, I think in a 4-horse field, the post positions really aren't all that significant, Terry. I think in this field, speed might play a big factor, and it looks like one of them has a real benefit from all the other speed scratching out.
That's right. That number 1 horse on that rail has plenty of speed, as you can see there. And nothing else has that much speed at all. The 1 has a small overlay from 3 to 1 to 3.5 to 1. The 3 has a small overlay from 2.5 to 1 to 3 to 1. The 6, 1, and 3 show par numbers, and the best C-zone numbers are 1 and 6.
Yeah, so maybe a 1-6 exacta if you like the C-zone score, like our good friend Christopher D'Souza. Looking at the race shape here, Terry, really nobody lead dependent. Everybody but the 2 has versatility as either a pilot, co-pilot type, or PCs can be anywhere on the course. Looking at that early speed, Terry, there is an enormous advantage for Respectfully. That one has a 14-point or nearly 3-length advantage over everybody else when the gates open. I mean, jockey should just get out to the lead, hold about a 1-length lead, and save some energy for the end. If not, Kiss Me Hearty, that one does have the most late speed, a little bit of an edge over Social Lady, but really, pretty good edge over Respectfully. Really going to be pace dependent here. If somebody goes out and pushes that 1 horse, if not, it does have a 4-point total pace advantage over Kiss Me Hearty. And then Social Lady, Ginger's Wish, even the long shot there, Terry, not all that far off. in only 10 points. Going to be tough to get a hard trip in a 4-horse field. This is your bet of the day. Spill the beans.
That's right. I like that 6-horse Social Lady is my bet of the day. She finished in the money in 7 out of the last 8 races, won 4 of those starts, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 3 Kiss Me Hearties, my second choice, has won 2 out of 4 starts, may improve while returning to the dirt. Respectfully, the 1 is my third choice. She's having a good career, finishing in the money 48% of the races and winning 32% of the starts, has a high percentage winning trainer. Ginger Wish, the 2 is my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I'm going to bet my $16 to win on number 6.
So Terry, Christopher D'Souza says his bet of the day for a 5-0 spot is on the 1-horse in here, respectfully. Yeah. I don't remember last time out. Did either one of your horses win for the get even bet, or do you remember, Christopher?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I had a couple last week that did, but I don't remember which day. So
yeah, no, there was a day where you and Christopher were on opposite ends again. So yeah. I don't remember. So we'll just assume that nobody won. Otherwise, we would have heard from the other. And Christopher D'Souza, double or nothing on that coffee in there. I agree with you on that 1-horse. So I don't know. Maybe that should scare the hell out of you. I think respectfully, he just has way too much of an early speed advantage with all the other speed canceling out of this race in a 4-horse field. 14-point edge over the rest of them. He's going to get to the lead. Everyone at some point is going to have to pass him. It's just a question of how fast the jockey goes early on. Kiss Me Hearty, the 3-horse, gets the second call for me. Coming in from Gulfstream Park, ordinarily I would call that a class drop. But this one does have a handful of races at Parx with a win, a couple of seconds, and a third. And some of its best races were at Parx. And then the 6-horse, Social Lady, your bet of the day, Terry. Good reason to have that as a top pick. Last time out in this shortened field, speed figure was 8 points clear of the next closest horse, and that includes a bobble at the break right there. And this is making its third start after a layoff, after running some faster fractions. So a lot of reasons to like the 6-horse, Terry. I think it's going to be the betting favorite. Ginger's Wish, somebody has to be 4 out of 4, Terry. So why not make it the 2-horse?
Yeah, that's right. In this race, that 3 shows the most speed.
Well, we already.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yes. Yeah.
So now we're going to go off to the final race of the day, provided we have time. Let's just make sure race number 2 is not about to get cooking over here. Race number 2, no, we have plenty of time to do the final race of the day. So for all of you out there playing those handicapping contests, that will begin in race number 3 for Parx. You'll have all of our picks. And then on top of that, looking at the when you come back to YouTube and just a little bit after the show, we'll put all the race times in the description below. Along with the race times, you'll find a link to Guaranteed Tip Sheet for some free picks over there today with Ohio Player. I don't know how that horse did in the opener, Terry. Hopefully he does all right. Let's go about our business for race number 10, the closer at Parx.
All right. So the reason I was kind of preoccupied there, I was trying to get one of the late scratches in here. But it's a 6 furlong. It's a claiming price of $5,000. The purse $18,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since September 11th.
6 furlongs is a case where stalkers do good. 25% of the time, the horse that gets the lead never gives it up. Pretty strong relevance for Zenatown. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they get penalized big time. Again, whack-a-mole. 8 and out also gets penalized. So ideally, if your favorite pick has inside 3 speed, you should be in good shape, Terry. Looks like there's a couple of other scratches in here that came in late, but really not. Well, Linda's Heart was our 4th pick, so we're both going to have to put a different one in there as our 4th pick. But go ahead and walk through the data. I'll change my 4th pick, and then when it's my turn, you can change your 4th pick.
Okay, sounds good to me. Yeah, the 3 and the 11 show the most speed, although several of them have some speed in here. The 11 has a overlay from 2 to 1 to 9 to 2, and the 13 goes from 7 to 2 to 6 to 1. 11 and 13 show the only par numbers in here, and most of these have C-zone numbers that aren't bad.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and change my pick to the 4. You can go about making your change, Terry. Our race shape for the final race of the day, loaded with a lot of horses. Look at all of this speed up here, Terry. a wall of speed with 4 horses behind that should have an opportunity to chase down some tired legs at the end. Let's see how competitive that beginning will be. Be really competitive. A lot of them within 9 points of each other. A lot of the speeds on the outside, so that means the horses on the inside are going to kind of go fast. That could make for a very quick early speed race. Total pay, late speed, Tilsa, the 9 horse, a little bit of an edge over Queen of Cadence. A 5-point advantage, about a 1 length advantage. Again, very competitive. Only 10 points separating top to bottom. This last race looks like just about anybody can win, Terry. Queen Cadence does have that 5-point, that minimum change that we're looking for from the next closest horse. So maybe the safest bet in the race is Queen Cadence, but it's not a absolute lock. But yet we both have it first.
Yeah, I actually like the 11 Queen Cadence as my top choice. She ran second versus Tupper in her last race, drops in class today, and has the highest last speed rating. The 5 Irwin's Enthusiasm is my second choice. She finished third versus Simon in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, and also has which the trainer wins 24% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. Bahamas Pearl, the 13, is my third choice. She finished second in her last race and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then my long shot where I changed my pick is number 8. And number 8 is Knockout Kid. He's got Michael Moore trains him, so good trainer. And he's won 8 out of 60 starts at Parx Racing. So he seems to do pretty well here.
So look, Christopher D'Souza in this race says the 9 horse, Tilsa, is the one that he's going to focus on over here. It looks pretty good, strong C zone, fairly posted in terms of morning line odds in there. If you agree with Don Johnson, the handsome guy from Miami Vice, thank you for joining us, Don. He thinks we did a great job today. If you think we did a great job, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on all of our social sites. You see them streaming down there below. Share our content. You can hit the share button on YouTube, hit the like buttons on Facebook, YouTube, retweet, any kind of interaction, again, really boosts, gives a lot of octane to our algorithmic scores with all of the tech companies. So when people search, we'll pop up a little bit higher in their rankings. And the last race of the day, Terry, with all these wide openness, somehow we both land on the 11 Queen Cadence. It is what I call a left arrow horse. Yeah, you see it's a closer, but it's early speed. We'll put it pretty close to the front today, Terry. Anytime we see those left arrow horses, right away I pay attention. It is also the top par plus horse here, only one of 2. Number 13, Bahama Pearl. This one wasn't also eligible. So we used the Brisnet past performances. You see here the AE types. I'm always kind of interested why a trainer put him in there. They have a good sense that the horse can compete very well. When the AEs get in, you do have to pay attention to them, especially if they're our simulated odd favorite. Definitely has some early speed, the other par plus horse in here, and has fared okay at Parx. 5 races with a trio of seconds in there. Number 10, Gia's Fuego, Gia's Heat or Fire. That one's getting a 10-pound weight break today, Terry. That's the equivalent of roughly 2 lengths, according to my foreign Friday partner in crime, Tom, 22-1 Tom. And he's getting that weight break after running faster fractions last time out. So I think maybe the trainer sees a horse that's coming into form and figures a little bit less weight today. In fact, 10 pounds could be a big difference maker. And then I'm going to go with number 4, Miss Malevolence, as my final selection in there. Terry, it was my next ranked horse in there. I think this is a horse that will be closing into a wall of speed. And if the pace is a little too hot, that late speed could be where the winner is found, despite the fact that it is a 6 furlong race. That wraps up all of our picks today for Money Monday at Parx. The opener was won by the 7. And based upon our picks today, Terry, it does look like the 7, at least through the first half of the card, could have a tremendous day.
Sure does. Sure does. And Christopher said he won. I don't know if he means I won or he means that his horse, which was a male, won. I don't know which one he means.
No, I think he's saying that you won. That's what I think he's saying.
Yeah, I believe I did. Yeah, I think I did. I did pretty well with my picks of the day last week. So
you're up 2 then? All right.
Yeah.
So you want to go 4-0, Christopher D'Souza? You got those? You got those with you? If so, let us know. Tomorrow, Terry and I will be back for Parx again. We'll probably start around the same time, maybe push it back about another 5 minutes to 12:10 Eastern time, a little bit closer to post time. Maybe we'll start again at 11:05. The best way to know when we're going to start is follow us on our social sites. You do see them streaming down there below. Again, just a reminder that if you're going to look at the Cheltenham Jumping Festival during the week ahead, Abstruse Allen, our 22-1 Tom and all of his thoughtful insights for the jumpers will be available over at horseracingtoday.net. He did say to me, it is a living document. So as the days progress, you could see some changes in there because I know Tom will be watching, he'll be betting, and he'll be keeping a close eye on the ongoings in England. The free track of the day again today, Mahoning Valley. Link for it below at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I think that wraps up just about everything today, Terry, from us. Any final thoughts from you before you and I get out of here and start prepping for Parx on terrific Terry Tuesday?
No, just everybody have a good rest of the week. And if you're playing the horses this week, good luck to you. I hope you're winning. But anything you're doing this week, hope you do well and give your loved ones a hug and a kiss, because you never know what's going to happen from day to day.
Well, we do know that race 2 is about to happen, Terry. So let's just take a moment before we sign off like Elmer Fudd. And that's all, folks. Let's see what happens. Right now, the 7-horse is your favorite at 1-1, Terry. So that's fair odds according to our simulations. Let me bring that back up in here. You see that is fair odds. 33% chance that one, Terry, runs a speed figure above or equal to par for this level, which is, let's go back to race number 2, a 77. So really not the strongest in terms of race, the strongest race caliber. The 2-horse is the one that has gotten to the lead. Skyhook, it's the one that we projected to get to the lead. The 7-horse, who we thought would sit in second, is indeed sitting in second place there, Terry, as they run through the opening quarter in 23 seconds. Kind of on the slowish side for a shorter race. That 2-horse should be there until the end, Terry. The 6-horse has found its way into third with the 1-horse down there on the rail. The 7-horse now is trying to make its way by the 2-horse. The 6-horse is moving pretty well, as is the 1-horse down there on the rail, Terry, though the 2-horse has not given up yet. 7-horse has taken the lead. Right now, it does look like the horse that's moving the quickest might be the 3-horse down there on the rail. Everybody else is kind of flattening out. A little bit of the 3-horse is going to find its way in a second, although the 6-horse now is trying to find its legs. So it's going to go 3, then the 7, then the 8. 7, 3, 8, 6, I think. 7, 3, 8, 6. So you got the exacta. We both had the winner there, Terry. A little bit of sluggishness for those horses that don't get on the lead today at Parx, folks. So maybe as you rewind your way through your picks today, focus on the horses that you think are going to get to the front. As we mentioned, the 7-horse does look like it can have a good day today. So far, the winner in both races. We think that the 7 could win the next race as well, Terry. So it'd be like if we're in Vegas, pulling the slot machine, 777. Although, based upon their odds, I don't think the jackpot will be that high for the pick 3. All right. And that wraps it up for this Money Monday. Whether you're betting the 7-horse all day long, Terry, or you're just trying to meet your life goals, betting the horses, you bet on some college basketball as you prep for March Madness, whatever it is that you're doing, we certainly hope it does garner God's favor, God's grace, and every single thing that you do on this Monday ends up in our favorite place,
the winner's circle.
Indeed. We'll see you tomorrow at Parx. Have a fantastic day. Thanks for joining us once again.